Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Magic 2014 Duels of the Planeswalkers. I am here with my usual co-host Rob, the alpaca.
Hey!
He's
I'm the usual
made
again.
Of fuzz, yeah. I mean, usual.
Made of fuzz.
Made of fuzz.
Entirely of fuzz.
Has like a face and hooves and stuff.
Mm,
I don't think you understand alpaca like biology.
I don't understand how a man can be made out of the color green. If you could explain that.
I don't know. It involves... I'll tell you when you're older.
Alright, that's fair. So yeah, of course, Green9090 is here as well. And we're going to play another three-way game, so I hope you guys are ready.
I am ready. Are we like randoming decks? Or
I'm not going to random this time because I've been doing that a lot. I have a specific deck in mind, so feel free to do either or.
Alright.
Nice. I accidentally pushed a button on my Xbox controller, and now it's showing me Xbox buttons.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
You should just use your Xbox controller then.
Nah.
No, it's too casual, man.
Yeah, really. I haven't played this deck in a long time, actually.
Wonder if it's the same one I have.
I haven't played
Maybe.
Magic in a long time.
Oh, lots of land.
I play that very frequently, actually.
Yeah, like twice a week at least.
Yeah, usually.
I've heard you guys do that.
Sometimes, like, when we record, like, not a lot, or, like, not, like, extra episodes,
Mm-hmm.
I will have not played Magic for like 2 weeks before we record.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes I keep thinking like, hey, today's the day I should unlock another deck, and then I play one duel against the AI, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm never doing this again. And then a week goes by, and I think that again. I just keep going through that cycle.
Well, like the encounters before you get to the thing where you can unlock the deck just make you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I really don't like those.
If you lose those, it's like, well, fuck me. You know what? I'm just done. I'm not gonna do this for a while because fucking waste of time. What is this thing? I keep looking at it. Sacrifice loyal poison. Target creature gains death touch until the end of turn. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. You should use it on my Doom Traveler.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good for the Doom Traveler. You should
really
put that
would.
in deck, Green.
Not doing it.
You're not gonna do
I
it for the
wish
Doom Traveler.
Yeah.
Oh, it's colorless too, so I totally could. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I wish I could like build my own deck instead of using these pre-built ones.
I know, that would be great, right? We could like play the way we want to play.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Comments of like, you can customize your deck.
I know, but I can't get that card for my deck. I can't customize it.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
Or if I can, I haven't yet.
I'm
It's possible
playing comments.
Yeah.
Hey Rob, remember that time when everybody was like, hey, you should play that custom game mode where it's like all the shit's crazy and gets shuffled and there's like a token in the middle?
Yeah, that was really bad.
That was so bad. What was that called again?
I
Like
don't know.
Planeswalker mode or something?
Planeswalker mode, yeah. Yeah, it's like Planeswalker Extreme 6969.
And everything's just insane and nothing makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, do you want to just play a dice roll to make your cards do a bunch of weird things? Hey, well, there you go. Enjoy yourself.
That's such a better game mode than being able to customize decks. This is the saltiest start to an episode of Magic.
Fuck this game, right, guys?
Yeah, fuck Magic. It sucks. I hate it. Hearthstone's better.
But we're glad you came back to watch us play it anyway.
I looked at one of the posts in our Hearthstone, and some guy had a 44/44 with taunt on turn 6,
Yeah.
and it reminded me, oh, that's why I'm waiting for Hearthstone to get patched a couple more times before I play it again, because that's silly. Like his opponent even had like he had like 3 armor and like 25 health, but didn't matter. 44/44 with taunt, no big deal. No big deal.
It's not a big deal, really.
No, there's nothing big about that deal.
Nah, yeah.
It's a little bit. It was a square deal though. FDR did it.
What is that again?
The square deal.
Yeah.
It's like FDR is like Schmelfenflorence.
So like his centerpiece legislation or something?
Yeah. Why?
I don't know what that means.
Oh. Yeah, his centerpiece legislation.
I just made that up right now, to be honest.
Fair enough. Oh, why did I open the chat? I meant to hit continue. There we go. All right. Excellent. Excellent work, friends. And an even better twerk. All right, what do we got? That's interesting. Yeah, that's interestinger.
Ah, fuck. I hate that card.
What's this guy? Master of the Wild Hunt. Oh,
I don't
you're gonna
remember
get
exactly.
wolves.
He makes wolves. Yeah.
Yeah, he makes wolves. He makes the last of the Grey Wolves, actually.
Then why isn't he here?
Oh no.
I know, right?
Make him.
Actually, he should be getting out of work in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
Should have not.
we got to go into the
attacked with my
future
face.
and then into the past again to do that.
Yeah.
Should have got the last of the Grey Wolves to come. I make him come all the time. Sorry, I had to go there. I had to go
Yeah,
somewhere.
I knew Red Rocket was going to hang out with us in a minute.
It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. Do the player discards if it puts. Fuck.
Nah, don't worry.
That Liliana's Reaper sucks so hard.
Yeah, I don't like that thing.
Oh god. Oh. What a big old D.
Oh no.
Did you guys know?
Oh, no.
Acid.
I'm
Oh,
very
that's
sorry to
Terrible
hear
news.
that.
Old D. That's worse than a small old D.
All right, so I think this is probably a good moment for me to bring up a topic of conversation. Wouldn't you agree?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah, go
so I was reading this this article about transhumanism and such, and that they were coming up with ways to take people's minds and all of their thought processes and cognitive functions, and somehow like turn them into a digital file. So you could technically like clone yourself into a digitized image, sort of like an ISO of yourself, if that makes sense.
Right.
So were you reading this in a science fiction novel from like the 80s?
No, I think it's like a thing they're experimenting on right now, or like trying to come up with. And then at the bottom of the thing, there was like 1 million people that were like, "Sign me up! I want to do this." And it sort of led me to wonder, like, okay, so we've had this transporter argument for a while, which is a thing about like sci-fi where you go into a teleporter and like it kills you, but then it replicates you into a clone of yourself into another place. So like, is that a sort of the same thing in a way? I mean, it doesn't kill you. But it's like there's
similar.
you become obsolete in a way.
Damn it! I figured that was gonna happen.
Well, I don't know if you become obsolete.
But if you're digital, like you're not bound
You gotta
by
just in case.
mortality anymore.
Yeah.
But it also means you could like get hacked, which I guess in a way is sort of not that good.
You never want to be hacked, Nick.
That'll be alright.
So like that's like the way we would make that transition into the Matrix, which makes me wonder like how come in the actual Matrix they didn't just posit it that way? Like why do we still need to be these flesh-bound, chunks? Just take our minds out and put them in the Matrix. I guess then we're not generating power for the machines though.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair,
We're
yeah.
batteries. Somehow.
Or are we fatteries?
I mean, a little bit. Is that where we're gonna go with this conversation? Fatteries.
Sorry, well, I wasn't paying attention entirely because I really wanted to ask you guys a question.
Okay.
And the question is undone now because I killed my own creature.
Oh.
So I basically fucked up a bunch of times and got doombladed.
Oh.
So I lose. that's basically. But what were you guys thought you were talking about transhumanism? That sounds interesting. This robot people.
Yeah, well, kind of. I was talking about. I guess I'll just say the whole thing again. There was an article that I read. I mean, you were here, but it's fine. And
Right.
basically, they were experimenting or coming up with a way that they could like take somebody's thoughts and ideas and turn them into a digitized file. So there could be
that's
like
awesome.
another duplication of you as a digital image.
Can I make him my slave?
Well, that's what I was sort of wondering about. Like, where do you go with that? What would be the practical applications of that? I mean, it could make you immortal in a way, but do you want to go there?
Yeah.
You do want to go there.
Oh, for sure. However, it does bring up like interesting points about rights that are dangerous. Like, because what would you consider that person or that consciousness existing as a being who's
Right.
deserving of rights? I would say yes, because I think if you have a fear of death, then you're kind of deserving of interesting. You know what? Yeah, I'm fucked. I fucked myself over so hard while things were happening. All right, whatever. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know.
So so here's the thing that I started to wonder if I was to take this to a bigger, the end result of where this idea could go, which is so like everybody decides everything's better in digital land, so they all get copies made of them, and I guess they can like transfer their consciousness to the digital version or something, and at that point, being a living human doesn't really seem as appealing anymore, and people don't really want to do that as much. So then there's like a few people that have to stick around to make sure that the servers that all the people are uploaded on still continue to function, and then they become the arbiters of reality, so they become gods in a way.
Mm. Well,
you just get robots.
But then they can get manipulated, though.
My internet died there. Well, here's the thing about that, though.
Yeah.
Is it's sort of that old philosophical question of like the transporter beam in Star Trek.
Oh my God! I actually literally said that.
Did you really?
Yeah, he did.
During that whole whatever you were saying.
No, he said it while you were having your existential crisis a while ago.
All right. Well, yeah. So
that's so funny.
But it's the transporter beam, the prestige thing is like, if you come out the other, is it you that comes out the other side? Not really. So, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like the prestige. Well, I shouldn't mention the prestige so much because I guess it's kind of a spoiler. So never mind.
Yeah, it's nothing like the prestige.
Yeah, don't even. I never mentioned the movie The Prestige.
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. Eris dies. Fuck, who cares? The end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not really a good way to explore that concept, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think people would like really opt for, not S&Ds all the time,
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want SDs though if you could be in digital world like where you don't ever need to ever have a D again and everything can just be pleasure all the time?
It's also like the thing is like, is that really life? Is that really life, Nick?
Well, at that point we would start to question who cares, like what's life like other than we are concepts.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. Is like if it is legitimately transferring your consciousness from a physical or a flesh body to a mechanical one or whatever that has like basically biological immortality, and you're saying there's no downside to that, like it is me going over, then fuck yeah, I'd do that. Like 100 times out of 100, I would do that. You'd probably simplify that fraction if you tried hard enough.
One time you would do that.
Out of the one choice that I would make, that I would do it. That's what I would do. But yeah, so I have to hit continue. Yeah, I would always do that because I don't know. I'm one of those guys that doesn't understand people who say like, oh well, but you really wouldn't want to be immortal if you were given the opportunity. It's like, who the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I absolutely would want to be immortal because like a lot of times the downsides that you hear are well, your loved ones are gonna die. You're gonna watch all your loved ones die, and it's like, well, that shit happens whether you're immortal or not, right? I mean, you're gonna see your loved ones die. That's gonna happen.
But you're giving up all of your ability to like have control over your own body, really. Like you don't. Oh, I can't target that. How about that one? You don't have the ability anymore to like be in control of what happens to you, right? If you're digital, you're at the whim of like electricity at that point. And you could become like corrupted or broken.
I could have done. I'm an idiot. Whatever. It's fine. What were you saying? Was it will to be broken, something like that?
No, like if you are digital, there's all kinds of things that could happen to you that could never happen in normal reality. So I don't understand if like the pluses would equate to the minuses,
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't die from getting hit by a car. I wouldn't. You turn off all the horrible like skin eating diseases and stuff. That sounds pretty good. But I mean, yeah, I guess you could get a virus planted in your brain. But so you could do that in regular life too. So
But, like, all of reality could be destroyed by one angry hacker, technically.
yeah, but you know, all of reality could be destroyed by one asshole-ish drunk driver or serial killer as well. You know,
But isn't it hard to see?
at that point, at that point, if we're talking about that in a realistic sense, as in like this is something that could happen to everybody all the time, right? Or like that, this is to be the norm. Then that would be considered murder in the same vein as anything else. So really, it's basically the same dealio, right? A man, whether a man will commit murder to kill you or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, but it feels like to me seeing a server block, like a big pile of computer parts, like lose power versus actually murdering people, seems like two different concepts. I mean, I know it's just sort of a syntax thing or something. Like it's not really about the concepts, but I think people are not necessarily always smart enough to see the differences.
Mm-hmm. I can't use my spells anymore. Well, that's annoying. All right. What do we? Hold on a second. I gotta read cards. As long as you indestructible. What does that one do?
Makes it so you can't destroy it.
Does not die.
Yeah.
If a spell is effective, but I can kill it with a. If an injury has been dealt enough damage to destroy it, the creature is not destroyed. Ah, all right. Well, I guess I'll just lose then.
Yeah,
it's fine. I've been there.
Means of stopping that at all.
Oops, damn it. I didn't mean to... Oh, yes I did.
I totally misunderstood what that wolf attack thing did, by the way. I thought what it was it turned the attack power of those multiple creatures into, like, direct damage. But it actually just makes them fight each other, which is not really what I wanted.
Yeah.
Actually, I fucked that up, too. I could have killed your second wolf, but I just hit finish because I didn't know if it was registering... thing. It's hard to like read cards for the first time and then also try to talk about an interesting topic.
It is, yeah.
I don't know. If we're talking about like no matter what it is, if you're talking about immortality to me, I would pretty much always take it, no matter the downsides, pretty much. Unless it's like, you have to shit in your own mouth for a turn.
But it's like fragile immortality. It's like you're not really immortal. You don't have all the upsides to immortality that normally people would.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just invincible. You just don't exist.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And we're talking about just like being in a computer mainframe or something?
Well, that's the only way that I can envision it right now. I mean, maybe there's a way that can transcend to another concept.
Could be in a robot.
Right, I mean, I guess that's where that would go, right? So if you've got all these consciousnesses living in a computer, why not give them whatever form they want at some point when we have sufficient technology?
Yeah. Yeah, like that thing that people do where they chop off their heads and freeze it in case we figure out how to make it, good in the future. I would totally do that. Like, I totally kind of even plan on doing that if it's an option for me. Like, for sure. Because why not? Like, maybe he'll wake up in the 26th century or something. You know what I mean? And, like, what am I doing with my body anyway? That's another thing, too, is, like, I never really understood... I guess I could live for another turn. Yeah, let's live for a turn. Anyway, yeah. I never understood a lot of things in my life. Mathematics, mostly. What was I talking about?
I don't know.
You never understood why people needed their bodies, I think, is where you were going to go, or somewhere like that, or something about bodies.
Or why people care what happens to their bodies after they die.
Oh, yeah. No, wait, yeah. Why do people care what happens to you? You're dead. It doesn't matter. You're like, there's nothing. There's literally nothing that will happen after you're dead will matter to you because you're dead.
It's all stigmas and religious and all kinds of things like that. It's not anything tied to reality, though.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I could see the religious thing. But even in religion, you go to heaven, right? Like, so what the fuck is your body for?
No, but it's like rituals. It's like people want to make sure that there's proper, respect paid to the corpse of a thing that used to be human.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't really, people don't want to acknowledge that when you lose the mind part of a body, it just becomes literally just dead meat.
Yeah, yeah.
People want to attribute more significance to it than that.
The one thing that I heard that was pretty cool is that there's this company that okay, so firstly, what are diamonds made of?
Carbon.
Carbon, right? So basically all diamonds are carbon plus pressure and time. Like that's all it is. So
Or Superman.
And Superman.
Yeah.
Well, they're made of Superman.
Carbon plus Superman.
Yeah, little
Equals
bits of
diamonds.
Superman.
I've seen him
Right,
do it, man. He crushes coal.
He
Anyway.
does, yeah. But he can transmute materials. GG, by the way.
Yeah, grats.
GG.
But anyway, yeah. So there's this company that will cremate you and then turn your ashes into a diamond. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
They also freeze you now and break you up with sound waves, which I think is it's good for the environment or something.
What?
Oh, really? Yeah. There's also that one where you can become a tree, right? Like where they break you
Right.
down and become like a mulch, and then you get like
Yeah.
a pot for your family, and you become like a bonsai tree or something, and then they could like plant it in their backyard.
Yeah,
and
we
shit.
both read about that, I think, on the same day we were talking about that one time. It's really,
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
symbolic than anything. I mean, yeah, okay, it's sort of fed on some of your nutrients, but who really cares at that point? I mean, you're not gonna... There's nothing about that that's you.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why I like the diamond thing, because it's like, well, that's straight up. That's just like what used to be Rob is now
Yeah.
that diamond that I'm wearing on my ring or whatever. Like that used to be Grandpa at one point. that seems cool to me. I mean, it's gonna happen eventually anyway, right?
Well, I guess. In a really long time, yeah.
yeah.
At
So-
least if you turn into a tree, though, you're something alive.
Yeah, I guess. But again, like you were saying, it's just like, well, yeah, I'm kind of the nutrients in a tree. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Your
I would do
consciousness
that if you
doesn't
buried
stay
me
alive.
as well.
But why do
Yeah.
we romanticize turning people into other things after they're dead? Like, why don't we go to the furthest end of that and turn them into, like, stuffed dolls that we put around our house? Like, we don't do that for a reason, because it's creepy. So why do we romanticize turning into trees and diamonds? I don't understand why we want
I've
that.
legitimately thought about that though, where it's just like
Taxidermy.
if I have like a family that would want that, it'd be like, fuck yeah, go for it. Like taxidermy the shit out of me. Fill me with teddy bear stuffing.
You would
Put me in your house.
whatever.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, just do whatever. Hey, you want to get off? Whatever. I'm not using my butthole anymore. Go for it. Enjoy yourself. I don't mind. I'm dead. Literally nothing you can do will affect my mood anymore because I'm dead.
Right.
That was kind of like what Hunter S. Thompson did.
They turned him into fireworks, didn't they?
Yeah. It's really awesome. He got Johnny Depp to do. This is something that he said. You could watch the video of him talking about what he wants at his funeral in the 70s. He made a video about it. Film, I guess, technically. And anyway, and he asked Johnny Depp to do the stuff because he trusted Johnny Depp more than like anybody else at the time, which is crazy because Johnny Depp just stayed in his basement for 2 weeks for Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas to become him.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, so what his funeral thing was, he had a giant orange fist with two thumbs erected, and there was massive party with fireworks and laser lights, and then that fist was actually a cannon, and it shot his ashes out over the valley in which he lived, and it exploded in the air, and the ashes went out over the desert. And it's like, that's so badass. That's so cool.
Yeah, he really went out with a bang, literally. That's nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sort of brings back the point that I was saying. Is like I would want someone to say that they will do that for me, and I want to be able to trust them and know that they will do it.
Right.
Obviously, I don't give a shit if they do it or not because I can't tell. Like, we'll be able to tell.
Right, I think the only thing that matters is right before you die, if you feel like, yeah, there's a really good chance this person will do it. The end.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, that was a good last feeling to have. I guess I'm dead now.
Right.
See you
I mean,
later.
at that point, why not have, like, designer deaths, right? Like, people a lot of the time know they're going to die a little while before they do, due to all the increases in illness. So why don't we, like, design a way that we can, like, fulfill a wish as we die? Like, just do something really dumb as your last thing that you did.
Yeah, that'd be badass, actually.
Like, literally just shoot someone out of a cannon. Just, I mean, why not? Like, into the Grand Canyon or something.
Yeah, but you'd have to, like, pump them filled with morphine or something.
Right.
So that they wouldn't. I've thought about that as well. It's like I've always thought that, like, you know, if I'm gonna die, people, whenever I ask people like how they want to die, you know, the most common answer is like very peacefully in your bed. And it's like, dude, fuck that.
And not everybody feels that way.
Moment on Earth, your last moment. Don't you want to go out in like a blaze of glory or something, like a hail of gunfire, or you know, shooting through the sky on fire like a phoenix, like something badass. That's what I would want.
Oh my god!
Like, I don't give a shit about, like, you know, I don't know. Like, painless would be cool, but if it's like quick, then whatever. You know,
Yeah.
It's not gonna matter anyway. You'll be dead. So
I'm just imagining rigging up these like senior citizens, so it's like they just rob a fake bank and then get shot to death in the parking lot.
That'd be so cool. It's so much better than euthanasia.
Well, I mean, you could actually, if you wanted, you could just make it so they trigger like the moment before they start getting shot that they just die right then, and then the being shot. Well, I guess you don't get to experience being shot to death, which I don't think people really want. Do they?
Yeah, that's probably not
I
that
don't
fun.
know. It's probably not
they
that.
want to experience, but when it happens, they're just like, oh,
Yeah, no, I made a mistake there, but then they die.
The thing, that's the point, though, is like, it's just like, well, even if it sucks,
It only sucks for like a minute.
yeah,
Like that.
exactly. Months later, like, whatever. Like, it's like your last dying breath is just gonna be like, I probably should have.
I fucked up.
All right, I immediately regret my decision, and I'm dead. So, like, whatever. This is kind of a morbid episode of Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was strange.
Yeah, good way to describe it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go on record as saying that I want to necessarily die in a hail of gunfire. That's not me, but I understand that some people do.
Right.
So,
I think it's cooler than dying peacefully in your sleep, like a.
I actually might want to die peacefully in my sleep. I don't know.
I don't want to die peacefully.
Probably want to die doing it.
I would die.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
that'd be cool. I'd die peacefully in my sleep, skydiving with my bed. That would be cool.
Yeah, that seems like a Rob way to go.
Yeah,
Just
Like,
strap
drop
you down to
my
the bed and
bed
push it
out
out
of-
of an airplane.
exactly. Yeah, just push me out of the cargo plane. Whatever. Like, I don't.
Watch,
need
you'd probably live too.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
I'm pretty
I don't-
sure people have lived, right? I thought somebody
yeah.
has done that. Yeah.
My aunt has her parachute didn't go off, and she fell into like this swamp, and it was soft enough that she
Holy
was okay,
shit.
but she broke like a bunch of bones.
That's
Well-
so unbelievable that someone could live from that.
Yeah, it was
How high
crazy.
up do you drop from, though? Like, do you
Well,
drop?
there's a terminal velocity. You know, it doesn't.
Yeah, you
at a
don't
certain
go
point,
any
it doesn't
faster.
matter.
Right.
And I think everybody skydives from far enough that you hit terminal velocity, so it doesn't really matter how far you're falling at that point, unless you're in space and burning up in the atmosphere.
That was my next question. So that guy that actually jumped from the atmosphere, provided he had the suit so he wouldn't burn up, could have technically survived had he not had any parachute.
Yeah, if something crazy happened and he landed in an ideal
I mean,
place,
like
and
a
he could
one
have
in a
just
million,
shattered all his
probably.
bones instead.
Yeah.
Well, there's that one story of that one Russian dude who was like, actually, hold on, I have two stories. But firstly, this is a story of the one Russian dude who was really hammered, and his girlfriend like bet him that he wouldn't jump out the window, and then he jumped out the window from like a 5-story building and totally survived. Went back up to the apartment. Was like, see, and then he did it again and totally
What?
survived again.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Is he a stuntman?
No. See, here's the thing: the reasoning behind it, and what the people how scientists have sort of explained it.
He was drunk,
that-
right? So he was
When
rubbery.
you're hammered, when you're hammered, your muscles loosen, and in fact, when your muscles tighten out of fear, it's actually detrimental in a long fall.
Yeah.
It kind of fucks you up. But his muscles were like super loose because he was hammered off a bunch of vodka. So
Yeah, he's just like, whatever, here we go.
Oh my god!
out of a 5-story window
Watch
twice.
this bitch.
Yeah, it's totally fine. And now I have a second story. This one's tangential in that there was this businessman, corporate dude, at a corporate building, and he was like, "There's no way that you can break windows on a skyscraper, right? Like they don't shatter. You cannot shatter them." And like people always told him that he was wrong. That with enough force you could shatter a window. If you throw a man through a window, you could shatter a window in a skyscraper. And he's like, no, you can't. So apparently he gets up on the conference table, runs over and smashes himself into the window of the skyscraper, and it doesn't break. And he's fine. And he's like, oh, okay, you see? You see? I'll do it again. And he gets back up on the table, jumps the window, and it doesn't shatter. However, the frame breaks, and the whole window goes out.
Oh, my God.
Because he jumped out of a skyscraper window. I can only imagine the hilarity. Also, the vacuum that I'm sure occurred right after it. Like, that must have looked like a Sam Raimi death scene in Evil Dead or something. Where this guy jumps through a window and then all the air gets sucked out of the room.
That's wild.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
You think he shouted anything up at the people as he went out the window?
He's like, I was still right!
Yeah, look at this shit, it's still in one piece.
I bet it won't shatter when it hits the ground!
It did shatter when it hit the ground, right? It has to.
I don't know, probably.
No one has seen it hit the ground, ever.
That's true, yeah. Some say he's still falling. But
I just need to say that the dude that jumped from the atmosphere, if he would have survived not having a parachute, that would be the most badass person in the world.
Yeah.
I fell from space, lived.
Totally lived. Yeah.
He should basically have, like, an extra privilege, like, to just have sex with whoever he wants at that point.
I think he does already. Like,
yeah.
What he is. Like, can you imagine? Because, like, you know, we could go to a bar and be like, yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah, here, look at my channel. Like, that guy could be like, hey, yeah, I'm on YouTube. Look, I jumped from space. Here, that's me. That's me jumping from fucking space. and then, you know, all the ladies in the bar immediately SSD. That's what happens.
It's like a really good pitch, yeah. Do you want to have sex with someone who fell from space?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to know who the first people to have sex in space were. That's what I want to know.
Oh, I saw that. There was a couple of astronauts that actually, I think, talked about that they knew they were the first. I think it was on Reddit or something. I'm not sure why I know this, but I think I just happened upon it one time. Well, but I'm sure commenters will let us know again.
Well, the first married couple that went up into space was in the 70s, I believe. So they didn't say that they had sex in space, but I mean, come on, they probably had sex in space.
They definitely
you are
had
in
sex
space. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're in space with your significant other, and you know that you were the first married couple in space, would you not, like, would there ever be a chance
impossible.
Yeah, there would be no doubt in your mind that you're like, okay, we're not gonna be the first people.
Even if they had cameras on you. You'd be like, fuck you, I'm doing it.
Exactly.
Like,
watch
they
this.
debriefed you beforehand, and they were like, okay, well, if you have sex with each other in space, we will fire you, and you will never go to space
yeah,
again.
It's still worth it.
Like, whatever. Sure, okay.
Let's make history.
I would get some money shots, like a porno.
I have a record-breaking erection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I think that was one of the things that came up in that interview or questionnaire, whatever it was. I think they said that it's kind of hard to get a hard-on in space for some reason because of the pressure.
Yes. Yeah,
really?
That's one of the things, is it would be difficult to get blood flow to your penis.
Which is really unfortunate.
The thing is, space, so how space works is technically you're always falling, right? Yeah. So you're always falling. So what that means is all the blood rushes to your extremities, which is why astronauts can't stay in, like, the International Space Station for extremely long periods of time. And even if they do for however long periods of time, then you'll see their heads are kind of bloated and their hands are kind of bloated and fat, sausagey. It's because all the blood has built up in their heads and their feet and their hands and stuff. Yeah. So because of that, it's difficult to get blood pressure flowing through your penis. But I mean, if you're the first people to have sex in space, if you're any people to have sex in space, I think you could work.
Love finds a way.
We'll figure it out, yeah.
Yeah, so like Jeff Goldblum said, nature finds a way. Nature finds a way to fucking space. That's the full quote. Cut just before.
What the hell is wrong with that kid in Jurassic Park on the fence, by the way?
On the fence?
Yeah, he was climbing over the electric fence, and he's like, this is going to turn on and kill you in about 5 more seconds. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to stay still and look down for a while.
Yeah, that's Jurassic Park 2, right?
No, that was the first one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
that is the first one.
Long.
It's a great movie.
Because he fell. He got electrocuted, and then he fell into his arms.
Right.
He's like, why didn't you just jump? You're really dumb.
You know, the CG is still really good for that movie. It still looks good.
Well, because a lot of it was real, wasn't it? It wasn't all CG.
Yeah, there were a bunch of real
Well,
dinosaurs.
they mixed animatronics with they used real dinosaurs. That's what it was.
Did you know? Apparently, Tyrannosaurus Rex had feathers.
No, really.
Oh, really?
I like to say this because Rob tells me this all the time.
I run out of stories sometimes, or maybe I don't run out of stories, but I'll like forget which stories. I'll just bring some stories out of long-term memory for a little while, and it's like, oh, yeah, you know, that's.
No, it's fine. You have a lot of stories. I just like that one was the one that happened a bunch.
Yeah, that indeed it did.
I've never heard the one about the window breaking before. That was new.
That's good. That wasn't like a story. I wasn't in the boardroom when that happened.
Ah, it's too bad.
Yeah, as a second hand.
Would have made an excellent YouTube video, I will say.
Can you talk to somebody who was in the boardroom then?
No, actually, third hand. There were three hands. There's a man with three hands, and he told me the story.
Nice.
Yeah, it was weird.
Cool guy.
Yeah, he was interesting.
Three-handed man.
So I think this was like 16 minutes of gameplay and then 20 minutes of not gameplay.
That's how it's been going lately. I had a feeling today was going to be one of those days, and I just go with it, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Who cares?
Totally.
You know, why not? Fuck it.
I wanted to just mostly talk more than play Magic, really. I mean, I enjoy playing Magic, but my hand sucked, and I just didn't really care.
Yeah, I kind of screwed myself over, like, in the beginning, and it was just like, well, that's the game for me.
Well, that's when I started to shift. I was like, all right, so I can either continue being invested in this game that I'm going to inevitably lose, and did, or just enjoy a nice conversation, and that's where I went with it.
Yeah.
So hopefully audience members don't mind, and hopefully they will not leave us angry comments about it, but, you know, there will be more Magic-y episodes of Magic in the future, I'm sure. It's all about the mood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We kept the mood magical even if we weren't playing Magic, I think.
Except for that part where Rob was just, like, tuned out for 10 minutes. That was funny.
That was the part where like, I made that awful move. Where
Yeah,
I
I know.
I kept zooming back in, and I wanted to like posit a question,
Yeah.
but you guys were.
It's fine. I understand, and I'm over it. It was just funny.
I was like,
Yeah. Can you guys repeat the whole conversation thus far?
you repeat that whole thing that you just said. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, let's wrap up another episode. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Green, of course, for coming on again. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me, sir. It's been so long.
No,
Play more.
anytime. You're always welcome back. And, of course, we will all have links to each other's channels, so be sure to check out everybody's perspectives in this rather short and somewhat inconsequential Magic match. But still, you know, glad to have you here, and I'm glad that you all watched. And hopefully you'll catch us again very soon. New episodes are Mondays and Fridays, so we'll see you back for that. And I hope you have a lovely day. Later, everybody.
Bye, everybody.